Woman from New York, and then we'll come back to that.
I thank the chairman and the gentlelady from California. Section 975 of Dodd-Frank, of course, as you know, requires that municipal advisors register with the SEC. And in May of 2009, the head of SEC's Office of Municipal Securities said that establishment of a program would be easy because there would probably only be about the number is here, only about 260 non-broker-dealer municipal advisors. But since the SEC has now written the rules, they actually encompass thousands more individuals, with some interesting exemptions, including engineers who provide engineering advice, government officials regarding strategies to improve energy efficiency in government buildings, you know, that they would be subject to registration and disclosure rules. It's striking that there's so much potential for you to create definitions that that may be rife with potential for skirting, if you will, or getting around them. How do you make them fair without incurring? Again, I keep going back to the cost of promulgating these regulations. How do we keep things fair and reasonable, rational? Do you feel as though you're able to have a voice in how these things are done in a way that won't confer unusual cost on our municipalities who have to deal with these things and on the engineering firms who provide these services?
Well, thank you, Congresswoman. It is a challenge in this area to get it right, I think, because we don't want to inhibit the certain sorts of functions that occur day to day that aren't really giving advice. In terms of that estimate you mentioned, I think that may well have been based on both a different set of data than we have today and also a different standard of what it means to be an advisor. I think that estimate may have been based on estimating how many independent entities out there that are advisors. And the statutory definition was somewhat broader than that. But the Muni Advisor definition rule has been proposed. It has not been adopted. We've gotten a lot of comment letters on it, and we're going to be looking at those very carefully. Engineering is one area where we have received some comments. We actually did include an exception for engineers providing engineering advice. Mm-hmm. But of course, the question is, well, what does that mean? You know, and what are the services that are ancillary to engineering? And I think what we want to try to do is provide the guidance people need to have legal certainty to be able to continue functioning and providing valuable services that were never intended to be registered as advisors, but at the same time, not create exceptions that overwhelm the rule. So that is the challenge, and we certainly are benefiting greatly from the comments we've received on it.
And I appreciate that. I mean, it would seem that you know, drawing rules so very broadly again will lead to that problem of contributing to stasis, conferring excessive costs, getting in the way of progress, actually ultimately impeding effective government that can be cost effective and can free resources for job creation, which is what we're talking about. I hope that you will be able to bring to bear, I think this committee would like to help you bring to bear a great measure of common sense. I do get the sense from all of you that you have a lot of common sense. And I want you to feel free, as speaking for myself, but I think I speak for the members of the committee, to feel free to tell us, you know, in addition to the comments you get from the public, which are very important, but please tell us, you know, what we can do on the statutory side to make it possible to fulfill a mission without tying everybody up into such knots that we get less done than we should. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.